Interconnections with souls, entities of light, and impostors. During the hypnotic process, we put a person into a modified state of consciousness, a trance, different to that of a vigilant state. In this trance, the person is completely conscious but very relaxed, with their eyes closed. Within this process, we can open a door to connect with another being that is not the patient, not the person. The method of interconnections enables the development of encounters with the spiritual world. It's like a direct access to the spiritual world. So we say that with a person in a modified state of consciousness, in a state of trance, we have the opportunity for dialogue through the vehicle, the brain or the soul of that person, with any other soul, living or dead, from this world or other worlds. We have the capacity, in a modified state of consciousness, to connect with things that, on a conscious level, would be impossible. It seems to me that this really is the case, and often we ask ourselves, debating between ourselves, why? Why does creation permit these possessions? For purification, for evolution, we always see that behind great pain there is also a great opportunity to change our consciousness, and perhaps to discover the essence of why we are here in this world, and what is the mission of this person in this world. A very important part of what we are going to talk about is, because up until now we've spoken of invasions, all the bad things that invasion produce and cause, of distortions they generate in the body, the mind, emotions, lives, in all areas. There is something very, very good that is generated after liberation. That is also contact with the most elevated world. We can call it a superior world. That is the world of spiritual guides, that through interconnections, after achieving liberation from all the dark, negative, or invading forces, we can close the proceedings with contact with an entity of light. Now, what is an entity of light? What do we call an entity of light? Ascended masters, guardian protectors, angels, sources of pure or divine energy that we invoke after the liberation to help the patient in many aspects of their life, both here and going forward. For example, we always ask, what messages do you have for this person who is now liberated, healed, and with a new lease of life? What should they focus on now? What can the entity or being communicate from the place they come from as a new suggestion for the person's evolution? We've come across many, many entities and beings of light, from multiple dimensions, other worlds, or entities or personalities that are extremely relevant to spiritual life on Earth, haven't we? Yes, we've encountered everything. A lot depends as well on the level of the person's ability to channel. Yes, on their level of channeling, their receptivity, cultural history, their belief system. For example, with the majority of people who have Jewish or Christian beliefs, when we invoke entities of light, beings appear that are relevant to the dynamic of their beliefs. For example, angels, saints or prophets or wise men. It's very rare in a Westerner, for example, to come across spiritual guides from Hinduism, but it does sometimes happen. I've found that too. I believe that the most important thing is when we receive these messages of light, barely have we invoked these energies when it's difficult to express here in a video, but how the energy changes, the atmosphere of the place transforms. We also see very clearly that when this energy talks through the patient, the discourse transforms and becomes very peaceful, very loving, very subtle and constructive, and always with a positive message. The purpose of the message is always evolution, and the content conveyed by these beings is always very, very positive. Not only for the person, but also for ourselves, because we are mediating between them. Yes, I love that. When a person is very receptive and really channels an entity that sends pure, good messages, we take advantage of the opportunity to ask for some message or some guidance for ourselves. And they have told us some very revealing things. Even people who don't know me, who know nothing of my family or my life, have given me messages about my family directly with names. A patient who has never met me, doesn't know the name of anyone in my family, nothing, channels this entity of light. That is clear proof that we're in another world, isn't it? In another dimension that's something out of the ordinary, something beyond rational logic. Yes, it's the first time that person has met us, and here they are telling us things that are really true, or things that we have to heal ourselves within our families. And we want to also mention that we don't work alone in this. That's to say, we're surrounded by energies, souls of higher beings that accompany us in the process of healing and liberating other souls. Usually they're called spirit guides. They're involved in the whole process, but will never invade a body. We'll never find an entity of light, a spiritual guide, living inside a person. If we do, we know already that they aren't in fact a spiritual guide. It's a way of detecting them, because very often we do the Metha-hypnosis or interconnection and ask, "Who are you?" And they'll respond, for example, "I'm a protector of the patient, I'm Maria's protector." Yes, they try to pass for a light entity. Sometimes they manifest as an angel or an archangel, sometimes they say they're a spiritual master. They seem very good, very kind, but we've discovered through various methods that when there's a distortion in the discourse, when there's something in the atmosphere around this supposedly luminous entity that isn't quite right, that doesn't quite fit, that's when we know we are dealing with another category of souls that we call impostors. Impostors, tricksters, a category of souls that want to deceive us, that try to trick us. And why is that? Because they don't want to leave. It's a way of avoiding discovery, of preventing us from exposing them, and as they don't want to leave, they use this camouflage. Sometimes they also use a relative as camouflage. For example, something that happened to me recently, I ask, "Who are you?" "I'm the father of this woman, the patient." "When did you pass away?" A few years ago." "And where are you?" "I'm in heaven, but I also come down here." "And how is it that you come down here?" "Jesus lets me come down," he says. "So Jesus lets you come and go as you please? You have a free ticket to go to heaven, to come back down to earth, enter as many bodies as you like. Jesus lets you do this?" Now, this doesn't add up. This can't be true. And it's here that we are able to discover the imposter, to reveal this entity for who it is. For example, they might say, "I'm Charles, I'm a man who died in England in the year 1800, and I decided to try to deceive you because I didn't want you to make me leave." That's to say, souls can use many different strategies to avoid leaving a body.